Manchester United have just played Ipswich and have just drawn the game 1-1. But before we continue, let's quickly bring in the guys. Yeah, let's quickly bring in the guys. So, Manchester United, United, have opened a new chapter of football with their new manager, Ruben Amorim, who came from a very stellar reputation with his job he did at Sporting CP. Yeah, and Manchester United are hoping he's able to replicate that kind of form. And his first ever game for Manchester United, he has played Ipswich away, and he's just drawn 1-1. Now, lots of Manchester United fans are not exactly ecstatic about this result because it apparently looks like they were hoping that the new manager would be able to conjure some magic out of the blue. My friends, it doesn't happen like that. Manchester United, football is a tradition. That's what Jose Mourinho calls football heritage. It's not something that all of a sudden you try and it works. It's something that you have to build, let's say, in a cumulative manner. Manchester United have been very poor for the past, 2, 3 years? They had a coach who was clueless, who didn't know what he was about. He bought the wrong players, had the wrong system. The team was a total chaos. Now there's a new manager who comes in, tries to fix the situation. And then what happens? It's just been 5 days of training because last Monday the players were playing for their national teams, and now they're playing for who? They're playing for Manchester United. So they only could have trained probably from Wednesday. So it's probably just been just 4 or 5 days. They've not been really training a lot. Now thinking about that, you also have to consider that the Manchester United team, the team as a whole, they have never played the system before. The tradition of Manchester United has always been playing the fallback system. Now, Manchester United are being forced to play a three-back system with a new manager, trying to inculcate his own principles onto the team, which I think is perfectly reasonable because he has his own philosophy, he has his own ideas. He is trying to, let's say, teach the players to come to his fold, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of Manchester United players apparently were looking for an over the night shift, over the night miracle that the new manager, after taking over for just 4 days, would be able to conjure some miracle. It doesn't happen like that. Ipswich can be a very decent club. They are a very decently coached team. The problem don't have the quality of players that the coach needs to execute his ideas, but he's definitely the team is definitely a very well coached team. So I didn't expect it to be an easy game. Most of Manchester United players have never played in a three-back system before. Many of them, disproportionate majority of Manchester United players have never in their lives played a three-back system. This coach is trying to implement a three-back system after only 3 days or 4 days of training. So we're definitely not going to have the smoothly running machinery of footballers or football. So I think it's a justified result. Ipswich played better. To me, Ipswich were the better of the two teams. But it's not anything surprising because we all expected Manchester United to struggle, especially with they trying to um, move from the four back system to the three back system. And lots of the players need to up their game. I think the coach also needs, especially on those wing backs, he needs some players who are more cut off for those. Because I've never in my life seen an inverted wing back. You can have an inverted fullback, but an inverted wing back is something that's probably new to football. Now I think that's probably not a coach's immediate let's say choice, but it's just that the resources available only permit for that. So that's probably what's going on. Yeah, so Amorim not off to the best possible start, but hey, it's still not a loss. Still no loss Manchester United after 5 games after Ten Hag's sacking. So that's something to look on to. Next thing we're gonna talk about is Pep Guardiola. What's going on with the legend? He's lost 5 games in a row for the first time in his career. Now, some people say that he's slacking, or uh, but nonetheless, others also still see him as a favorite for the league, especially now that even now that Liverpool are ahead by 8 points, they still see him as as a favorite for the league. He probably still is, but I think this season is probably going to be more difficult for him to actually win the league if he is going to win it, because they're a bit way too far off the mark. But that said, what is going on with Pep Guardiola and his Manchester City side? Tottenham Hotspurs beating them 4-0 at home. When I say at home, at Manchester City's home. So Pep Guardiola stayed home and was whopped 4-0. What's going on with him? Is it because of Rodri? I don't think so. I know lots of people are trying to make a case as though it was the absence of Rodri that's really spearheading this whole event of Manchester City's collapse. I don't think that's the case necessarily. I think it's just a case of a defensive midfielder, not necessarily because of Rodri as an individual. Is the chronic lack of quality players in that particular role. Yeah, in that defensive midfield role, and that I think that's what's characterized Manchester City's gradual systemic collapse. And also, they have lots of players who are just coming back from injury. They have lots of players who are aging and still have to, bear a lot of burden on their shoulders to carry the team. They have lots of players who have overachieved and probably don't have the motivation to keep going. So it's not easy. It's quite difficult. This season is probably going to be a Herculean struggle for them, but hopefully they are able to come out on top and keep afloat. So that's another thing. And then Barcelona blew a 2-0 lead yesterday to what was the team? Celta Vigo. Barcelona blew a 2-0 lead to Celta Vigo. That's just ridiculous, because you would expect Barcelona to play at a certain level, and we have not seen that with them recently. They've not been able to win a game in the last two La Liga encounters, and Real Madrid is just knocking at the door. Real Madrid with one outstanding game, and currently winning their game against Legends away. So Real Madrid, if they should win those two games, Real Madrid would be just 1 point behind Barcelona. That wouldn't put Barcelona in a very comfortable position. And some people say that it's because of the absence of Lamine Yamal. Could be. But I don't think a real good coach would build his team based on that 17-year-old. So you should be able to function without a 17-year-old. Not saying Lamine Yamal is an integral or pivotal to the team, but I'm saying that even if he's absent, the team should be able to function. He's not Messi. He's not Ronaldo. He's not Kevin De Bruyne. Yeah? So Barcelona need to get back on the bike and start pedaling away. I don't know what's going on with them, but it looks like there are some internal problems that are um, characterizing the fall of Barcelona at this very point in time, and I don't know what it is. It's probably that when a new coach comes into the scene, no, not many teams are used to his style. There's probably not many teams have devised an antidote for their style, and that's probably what's going on with Flick now. Looking at how everybody knows that he plays a very high line, he plays with a very sharp offside trap. Everybody knows that if you're able to escape that offside trap, you're good to go. So that's probably what teams have been training on when they have to meet Barcelona. But hey, they're still a decent side. They're still on top of the league. So let's see what happens after that. But Ruben Amorim, share your thoughts on Ruben Amorim. Do you think he's going to be able to manage this team efficiently? Because look, Eric Ten Hag had a better track record coming to Manchester United than Ruben Amorim. I know a lot of people associate Ruben Amorim to Mourinho, but I think there's light years of a difference between the two in terms of quality pre Premier League experience. When I say pre Premier League experience, even before you came to the Premier League, what you have done, yeah. I think the things that Amorim has been able to, the things that Ten Hag was able to do, The things that Jose Mourinho in particular was able to do before coming into the Premier League. He was an Europa League winner. He was a Champions League winner, and those two happened back to back in back to back years. Yeah, and he came to the Premier League. He won the league in his first season. So he is definitely. Hello, Gemma Taylor. How are you doing? You okay, Gemma? Yeah. So um, most definitely, he he had a better pedigree, a better track record than Amorim coming in. Amorim has done a fantastic job at Sporting CP, but it's only a big ask to expect that same record to be replicated at Manchester United, because we know the caliber of a team Manchester United is, and we know it can be really difficult. Looking at their track record in the last 10 years, how they've struggled against minnows. Nobody knows what they're gonna offer you on a certain day, but let's see what happens. We do hope Amarim all. We do wish Amarim all the best, and we hope he succeeds. Yeah. We end today's episode here, and please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Yeah, and we will bring you football analysis back to back. All right. Thank you, and have a good week ahead. Adios. Bye bye.